this?
I believe we did. It's a little bit like the red-blue game. A lot of new faces on our team. First opportunity to play in McHale against another team. Learning what we can do well. Maybe learning some things that we have to really prepare for in the future to get better at. I've got a lot of different faces in the game. Played without Chase Jeter, which was a good thing because other players had to do more, play in different roles. That's going to happen over the course of our season. But I was pleased with our effort. Thought our guys really tried to play together. And at this time of year, great effort and the intent of playing unselfish. Those two things really are at the top of our list right now.
Did you like what you saw out of the guys that filled in for Chase at the center spot in the front court?
I did. With Chase, and he's not only one of our best players and one of our most experienced players, but he really fills a need. Without him, we're a much different team. But we have three guys who can play in a game that position. Ryan Luther, who makes maybe a tough matchup for the opponent when he's at the 5. Ira can play there. And then I thought Jake did a really good job coming in the game as well.
There was how long do you expect Chase out, and was it an ankle? There was some talk of a sprained ankle or something.
He's injured. We expect him back in the short term.
Meaning next game or still up in the air?
I'm not sure.
Coach, seemed like you guys were playing an up-tempo style today. Is that a function of the opponent or something that you've been instituting?
We want to push the ball. We've pushed the ball the last 9 years, and tonight we pushed it again.
You guys announced that Ira was going to be out. How did he take the news, and it's that it's public, just what's moving forward with him?
Yeah, Ira took it very well. He's worked hard at all aspects, on and off the court, since he's become a student athlete at Arizona last year and this year. He's a great teammate and a great kid. He's had a lot of tough things happen to him in a very short period of time. I think our support is unwavering to help him through this difficult time. When you're going through tough times, sometimes the court, the weight room, your teammates, the locker room, those are things that can bring a smile to somebody's face like Ira. And so we're helping him get through it. And once we get through the first game, although that part of it's over, in his world, he's still dealing with a lot of tough times. But he's handling it very well, doing well in school, and it's great that we see him every day. And I think that's not only helpful to our team, but him as well.
Do you see Brandon Randall becoming your guy who scores a lot more than the other guys?
Brandon is talented offensively. He's certainly a very good shooter. Ironically, really through the first month of practice, he hasn't shot the ball as well as we thought he would, or as maybe as well as he's capable. And some of that is just as a young player learning what's a good shot, what isn't, how to use our offense to create, to trust your teammates, to just be patient. And one thing that his shots had in common tonight is that he took really quality open threes. And when you're a really good shooter like him, that's when you shoot a high percentage. But I thought he was one of the real standouts of tonight's game.
What's different about him from last year to this year?
He's more experienced. You got to realize, he practiced hard every day last year, and he played against some very talented wings. Alonzo, you see what he's doing right now for the Knicks. Raleigh, those guys they're very, very good college players, and you play against them every day. Maybe behind the scenes, we recognize Brandon's growing and getting better. He didn't have the opportunity to play in games as much or have a big role, but this year he does. And I think last year really prepared him and helped him. He's also had a real good off season. He's stronger, and he's just an overall better player. He's going to have nights where the ball doesn't go in the basket, and one of the things we've talked to him about is still be a good player, not just a shooter. And I think he's really trying to embrace that.
So, Coach, with the losses, Alonzo, Raleigh, Dusan, that guy up in Phoenix, I would assume you would be a more guard-oriented offense. Is that not the case?
We are, and we're going to rely more on the three-point shot this year. Now, that doesn't mean that it's either make or break. If we make threes, we're good. If we don't, we have to be able to create drives and get second shots, get fouled, get the ball close to the basket. Obviously, you put Chase out there, that's something he does well. But we're going to shoot and depend more on three-point shooting than we have maybe since I've been here, maybe since Derek Williams was here in the second year. So with that, we have to take good ones and learn how to move the ball. So tonight you saw a little bit of that. Again, I judge our guys on effort and some of the things we're really working hard on in practice, but we had good intentions, and a lot of our good plays on offense was a result of an unselfish pass.
How much defensively do you guys have to play up a size or up a position? Because some points you had some 6'7" guys guarding a 7'2" guy, things like that.
Well, that's our team this year. Everybody is, I'm sure, used to watching us rotate 3 or 4 true bigs in a game. That's been a strength of ours for some time. I do really believe in our front court. Emmanuel Acott is not small, and he's very good with the ball. He's a clever passer. He's almost like today's version of a wing, of a forward, kind of like a Draymond Green type of player at Arizona. And then you have Ryan Luther, Ira Lee, and Chase Jeter. Our key is that they're healthy, that we're able to keep them out of foul trouble, and that we play to their strengths. So I think when you watch us play, being able to trap the low post, we've already talked about utilizing the three-point shot more, and then we all need a little bit of good luck. I think being able to keep those guys healthy, it's more important this year than it's ever been because we don't have the luxury of maybe that extra big that we've had the last 6 or 7 seasons.
Your rotation, how you used it tonight, was that kind of like a preview of how you're going to go, or you're still kind of mixing and matching?
No, we're at the very beginning stages, but we're going to play 9 players. Maybe in a given situation, a 10th guy could to get on the court, but to play hard, to push the ball, to make up maybe for our lack of size and hold these guys accountable to rebounding and moving the ball. You get winded playing that way, and I think it's always been our philosophy to get people in and out of the game, and over the long course of the season, some of those guys really grow and improve. You saw Brandon Williams, playing 2 positions sounds good, but it's not easy on a freshman, and we're asking him to play the 1 and the 2. He had some great moments tonight, and then at times when he was at the 1, he didn't maybe have as good of a moment as we would have liked, but he'll learn from it, and that's the beauty of us now playing other teams. He'll learn playing against somebody else now instead of practice.
Coach, with all the losses, you guys are picked to finish lower than you typically are. I'm wondering what your message is to your team and how much you're relying on tradition and trying to just maintain that standard that you've established.
Well, every year is different. Each year you lose quite a few players, the way college basketball is right now. And we've always talked a lot about, not riding the coattails of what happened here before, whether it's last season, whether it's replacing a single player from a year ago, or if it's living up to the standards of Coach Olson and the great teams and players of that generation. Part of keeping the tradition alive is to really hold yourself accountable. And right now, all we can control is to be the best Arizona team we can be this season. And we know that there are certain things that we're going to have to overcome, but it's up to us as a coaching staff and a group of players to work on our weaknesses and battle and play hard. And certainly home games, we take a lot of pride in McHale. I know sometimes it can be overlooked here, but we're 82-3 in the last 85 home games. It's pretty good. And that's a standard you want to keep up, but it's not easy to do, obviously.
Would you like to address any of the distractions?
No.
Has the university given you any guidance or information about the Board of Regents meeting on Thursday?
Yes, I'm aware. It's a regularly scheduled meeting, and I'm in regular contact with Dave Hickey and Dr. Robbins.
Do you
So
feel
I'm
like
aware of it.
you feel like in general, like you said, there's that scheduled meeting, you had this trial was going on, that's now over, and a couple other things are coming out, you're seeing, I mean, does it feel like it was a year ago maybe where you have this cloud going on besides when you're trying to do what you're doing? I mean, is it,
Could you repeat that?
do you find that you're having the same kind of off-court distractions you kind of have to push aside, you know, with this team?
You know, my focus is really caring for the players that are in our program, trying to build a great recruiting class. You know, we're coming down the home stretch, you know, loving my wife and kids, enjoying the fact that I live in Tucson and doing the best that we can. You know, we had a game tonight, and now it's about learning from it, growing from it. Tomorrow we have practice, and we're going to try and have great practice, learn from the film, and be a better team on Sunday against Chaminade.
What are some of the high points for the recruits? Some of the high points that you're using to tell recruits about what your program's all about?
I don't believe I can comment on that.
Sure.
With Brandon Williams, is he learning that maybe kind of different from what he did in high school? He doesn't have to kind of do everything at the college level?
Yeah, you know, Brandon Williams, it's really, I can't tell you how good of a feeling it is to coach him because he's so coachable. And, you know, he comes from a terrific high school basketball program and a really good family. He was coached hard, held accountable on defense and offense. And you really can see that coaching him early on here. I mean, even when he makes mistakes, he's eager to fix the mistakes. And sometimes when you're talented like that, that right there can be overlooked because that's what's going to allow him to grow and become a great player. But we have high expectations for Brandon, but he's also bouncing back and forth between two positions. So, you know, he's in charge of the other 4 players, and he's running the team, and he's a playmaker, and then all of a sudden he's in where you really have him freed up to score. So it's going to take some time for him to really settle in and be comfortable, but as evidenced by the beginning of the game, you can see certainly his talent. He can really, in the open court, do a lot of different things.
Does he exhibit maybe some of those leadership skills that maybe you don't see with a lot of freshmen just based off what you're asking him to do so early on?
You know, I wouldn't say leadership skills. He's eager to learn. You know, DeAndre was like that a year ago. We've been lucky. You know, Lowry 2 years ago. You know, those guys, they're very good, but they're fun to coach. You know, because they come to work, they love the game. They're eager to become better and fix the things that need to be fixed. And you know, I'd say the same thing about Brandon. He's a guy that has a great attitude, and that's really not only going to help him, but that's going to help our team.